Good morning. sorry. Good morning. Today, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. I'm back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And as I'm sitting here at work, I just made it to my first delivery of the day. And I'm sitting in line waiting to get checked in at the distribution center, right? And I just left the port also. And I was looking around at all the other drivers out here. I was just observing, got a lot on my mind. So I'm just, I was sitting in line at the port before I came here. And I saw a couple of hundred drivers out there this morning. Which is, nothing special. We truck drivers, we at the port, or we at our delivery, which I'm at my delivery now. And for those who don't know, I deliver for Walmart distribution center. I bring their loads off the ship and take it to the warehouse. And that's what I do every day, all day, since 2019. But I came off the road. And as I look around at these drivers, what I'm noticing, you got some fairly young drivers in their 20s, which is a good thing. That's good. The young generation, the young men, young women, and you got a lot of women out here. That's good. But what I think is bad, what I saw, I see some guys out here, one in particular, that I knew when I was a child. Used to come by my mom's house. I told you my mom was the neighborhood juke joint, candy lady type where I grew up. So he used to come by when I was a child. I'm talking about when I was 6, 7 years old, 8, 9. He was a grown man then, coming by, sitting up on Friday nights through the week, getting his dollar shots and beer and buying some fried chicken wings and some hamburgers and sitting up talking noise, playing cards all night long. You know that type in the South. We call them juke joint. My mom had one. And here I am, May 23rd, I'll be 53 years old. Been knowing this man since I was 7, 8 years old. I'm out here driving a truck for a living. And guess what? So is he. He every bit of 80 plus, still out here driving a truck with me. Someone that was 8, 9 years old back in the 70s when he used to come by my mom's house, who is deceased, and hang out and chill. I've been knowing him all my life. He's been a grown man all my life. He out here driving trucks. Over 80 years old. When I was 8, he was in his 30s then. He was, going on 40, which was old to an 8-year-old back then. So now I'm like, damn, John out here still driving. And then I look around some more. And I see more and more older men, older women. I'm talking about 70s. I'm talking about gray everywhere. Wrinkles everywhere. Walking just barely making it. The guy I bought this truck from, the only reason he sold the truck is because he was going down the road in this truck and had a heart attack. He had just got the motor rebuilt. The truck is A1. It wasn't for sale. He wasn't going to sell this truck. He loved his truck. It's a one-owner truck. He had the truck since it was new. One guy had this truck. And he was going down the road and had a heart attack while he was driving. And ended up veering off into the median. Through the grace of God, he didn't get hurt, didn't hurt nobody, and didn't tap the truck. That's how I'm in it now. And they ended up removing his medical card from a CDL and whatnot. He can't drive no more. Old guy. But the fact that he was still out here driving and poor health, old, needed to be somewhere sitting down, retired, but couldn't. Couldn't do that, couldn't afford to sit down. And can't afford it now unless he probably has medical, some type of disability or something that kicked in. With Social Security, which, you know, whatever the money he had saved up. But the point is, he obviously didn't have much because you up in age, old, still out here working. So I asked myself, and then, like I said, you go to Walmart, the store. You walk in there. Old men, old women up there, greeters. Now they ain't just greeters no more. The Walmart by my house, they in there stocking. I go in the evening time, you know what I'm saying, like 9, 10 o'clock at night. They close at 11. And I'm seeing older men and women actually working. They ain't just the greeters no more. They actually at work working like everybody else. Stocking shelves and stuff like that, like they about in their 70s. Still having to do back-breaking work. Got the little knee pads on where they having to get down on your knees and stock the bottom shelves. And I'm seeing all this. And I'm like, damn. And then our government just raised the retirement age to get your Social Security to 67. It ain't 65 no more. Even at when it was 65, you still couldn't really retire for real. Even at 65. And I done gave y'all these statistics before. That the majority of Americans don't have $500 in emergency fund. $500. The majority of Americans, like 98%, something like that, don't have $500 saved up in the bank. It ain't just based on your income. We talk about folks who making close to 6 figures, still living check to check for one reason or another. Could be poor money management. Could be they have a large family and the cost of living and inflation. But for whatever reason, the majority of Americans have $500 or less saved up. Total life savings. And it ain't based on your age, even up in age. So that brought me to this conclusion. I've said it before about everybody broke. But we need to dig deeper into that, really look deep into that. And think about that for a minute. And that's how I came up with the title of this video. That the majority of people gonna die broke. You may be working somewhere on your job, and you got co-workers that's 70, 80 years old, still working with you. And you know you barely making enough to get by. And here they are, 70, 80 years old. Ain't got no help. And they working with you on a job that you can't pay your bills. You having to work 2 or 3 jobs. And you young. Here they are, 60s, 70s, 80s. Still working with you. What that means is, it's showing you what's to come. Showing me, showing us what's to come in the society we're living in right now, in the world we're living in. that most of us, if we live to get old, you're broke now and you're gonna be broke then. Hold on, y'all. And we're not talking about, hey, hold on, y'all. I'm not talking about easy jobs. And I'm not talking about when they done retired, they drawing their little pension, what have you, they just want to have something to do. You know, you got some people that are old like that, that's working, they just doing it because they just want to have something to do. It's always been like that, but that ain't what we're dealing with right now. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about old people out here working, getting it like you and me. Because they have to. Not because they just trying to do something to pass some time away. Don't want to sit at home bored. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about they out here working and grinding. Just like you and me. And they 75, 80 years old on your job, on my job, out here looking around at these folks. There should be somewhere like when we were growing up, when they that age, they somewhere fishing. The old men sitting under the tree playing dominoes when I was growing up. They done retired and they be retired in their 60s and 70s. They out there playing dominoes, Uno, spades, under the tree, the old men under the tree. That's the neighborhood and the life I grew up seeing. Nowadays, them old men and older women, they ain't sitting on the porch no more unless they the one drawing the, been on government assistance all their life. They out here working. And I'm talking about working hard. Have to work. And it's getting older and older and older. You got people been on jobs that the younger folk can't get the job because the older folk won't retire. It's jobs like that. Have you ever noticed that situation? Where you can't get the job because you got folks that have been there 30, 40 years, they 70, 80 years old and won't leave. You know why they won't leave? Not because they're having fun, they're broke. The future ain't looking bright for most of us. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're broke now, you're going to be broke then. Because times are not getting any better. If you 40, 35, 40, 50, whatever age you are, you broke right now, but you work every day, you still broke, still check to check, what's going to change to make it better? What other opportunities we got coming in this world, especially in America? We're in the middle of a trade war. We got 2 political parties that act like they're against each other, fooling the American people. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, them damn Republicans, them damn Democrats, that damn Trump, that damn Kamala, that damn Biden, that, when they all together. So what's gonna change to make our situation, what we're dealing with right now, what's gonna change to make it better? Nothing. What's gonna change is, the only change that's gonna take place is gonna change for the worse. It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse until this thing over with. That's what's gonna happen. The way it's looking, me, you, the majority of us, if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise and we still able to, we're gonna be having to work till we die. And if you don't have some type of big life insurance policy, when you die, if you got family members or what have you, you ain't leaving them nothing. They're gonna have to pay to bury you if you don't have some type of big life insurance policy. Because you ain't got nothing saved. You ain't got no inheritance to leave behind. It ain't cause you sorry, selfish, and don't want to have nothing to leave behind, you found yourself caught up in a system that was designed for you not to have it. Have y'all figured that out by now? This system we're in is designed to keep hamsters on the hamster wheel. We're on a hamster wheel. Have you noticed that no matter how hard you try, how smart you are, I'm a genius, and I'm struggling trying to make it just like everybody else. I'm just getting to where I'm seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel right now because I got so many different irons in the pot. I don't have no one income. So I'm just getting to where I ain't living check to check. But I'm always busy, some kind of way. I don't have much time to bullshit. Now, let me ask y'all this question, because I have to ask myself the same question. Are you going to be, check this out. I got family members that work at the bank tellers, right? Or they used to. And was telling me about, they didn't tell me who, the private information, who the person is, this, that, and the other. Was just in general, speaking in general about how many people that were high earners, professional career people that was getting nice money and was still had no savings. So big checks hit, big payments going out. Because there's a tendency that the more money you make, it's human nature that your expenses gonna go up. Very rarely will your income increase and you don't spend more money as well. If you're wondering, if you making six figures, you ain't got no business being check to check. What ends up happening for most people, even if you start making more money, because you're making more money, human nature gonna kick in, you're gonna start spending more. You're not gonna be making six figures if you got any type of sense and still live in the ghetto. If you living in the ghetto now and you making $9, $10 an hour, and then some kind of way your income increased the way you're making $100,000 a better year, you're not gonna still live in the ghetto. You're gonna have to go move, because if you do, they're gonna knock your head off. So you gotta move to a better location. So guess what? Your rent or your mortgage gonna increase. Yeah, your pay went up, but now your expenses going up because you gotta accommodate that pay increase. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna wanna send your kids to a better school. You're gonna wanna drive a better car. Unless you are the few rare, extremely disciplined people that will make six figures and still live like they're making $10 an hour. That's very rare to find somebody that would do that. Most people ain't gonna do that. I know y'all gonna say, big boy, it ain't about what you make, it's about what you spend. True. But most people ain't gonna be disciplined enough to make $200,000 a year and still live in a $50,000 house in the hood. You ain't gonna do that. Most people ain't disciplined enough to make $200,000 a year and drive a 2000 Toyota Avalon like me. Most people ain't disciplined like that. I don't even think I am. I'm doing it right now because my six figures, I haven't been making it that long. So I'm still watching to see, am I gonna stay on the level of life gonna come knock me back down to 40 and 50. So I haven't increased my expenses even though I can. I still live in a 1-bedroom apartment even though I can go buy a house. And I got people that judge me. I got women that wouldn't talk to me. Hey, I ain't know you live here. You live in a 1-bedroom. I thought you, not knowing my bank's swole. because I'd have been homeless before. So my mindset is different than most people. So even though, yes, I'm making more money now, I didn't increase my spending because I'd have been scared straight. Most people ain't been through what I've been through, so when you go to making the money I make, you're going to go spend it, the average person. Only because I've been homeless before is why I'm not doing it. Are you going to be one of the people that die broke? Because the way the economy going, the way it's set up, the way it's designed. We living in a system, a capitalist system, that's designed the way you have to have workers. So in order to keep workers, y'all keep wanting the wages to go up. No, your skill got to go up. They not going to raise the wages. You got to raise your skill. Because our system is set up and designed to keep workers. It's not designed the way everybody make enough money to where you can retire at 30. Who gonna work? Somebody gotta keep working. So that's why it's set up to pay you just enough. If you notice that, damn, I make just enough to get by. That's by design, not because you're an idiot, not because you're stupid, not because you're sorry. For some people that's the case, but the majority of people ain't call you sorry. It ain't because you're an idiot. It ain't because you don't want to work. It's because you caught up in a system that's designed to keep you on a hamster wheel. Pay you just enough the way you got to keep coming back. Pay you just enough the way you can't retire and go on vacations and live the life. Only a few people, a few elite people reach that level the way they ain't got to work. The majority of people will never reach the level where they don't have to work because it ain't designed for that. We living in a system that's designed to keep you broke, to keep you having to work, to keep you having to come back. America was built on slavery, and we still slaves. It's still operating off of slavery, if you haven't figured that out. The only difference between my ancestors' slavery and the slavery we're dealing with now, they paid those slaves with just a roof over their head, clothes on their back, and a little table scraps. The slave didn't have to pay it out their own pocket. So all they do now, under the guise that you free, you're not free if you don't know that. Whether you white, black, whatever, you still a slave. Because you got to work for a living. That's a slave. And you got to work for somebody else. You got a boss, a slave master, a taskmaster over you, telling you what you got to do. You a slave. Yes, you get paid. But all they did was replace them providing everything for you and fooled you into thinking that they're paying you, when all they doing is giving you what they was giving you anyway, a roof over your head, a few clothes on your back, and something to eat. That's all most of us can afford. The same thing the slaves was getting when they wasn't getting no money. A roof over their head, a few clothes on their back, and something to eat. That's all the slaves were getting, and they wasn't getting no salary. Here we are getting a salary, and that's all we able to get. A roof over our head, clothes on our back, something to eat. The slaves couldn't get ahead during slavery, and here we are supposed to be free, and we still can't get ahead. Still just enough, roof over your head, clothes on your back, something to eat. We still slaves. And most of us gonna die broke. I'm trying my best not to be one, but hey, I'm human too. I'm caught up in the same matrix, same trap as the rest of y'all. Will you die broke? I hope not, but hey, it ain't looking too good. Get it, got it, good. Bye.